This is Ethereal Aeons activation. If you're new to the channel, I'm Lesly Damai. Everyone else, welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about the dead internet theory. My findings on this, because I just looked up the dead internet theory yesterday, but I've been sensing this emptiness, this false persona the internet has. It has its own persona as well. People say technology is neutral, but under the hands of the dark occultists, it's not always so. And so I'm going to give you examples of what I'm seeing is happening, the infiltration. And we're also going to go over what the dead internet theory is, because it's really interesting. And it's proof of what maybe you've been sensing as well when you go online and try to research stuff, and how these search engines really don't offer you any sort of information when it comes to mysticism, occultism, high conscious matters. It's just nothing's there. And I also want to note, I want to say that I read books as well. And this is where I'm really able to put pieces of the puzzle together, because I'm not trying to go online and get some sort of profound gnosis handed to me. That's not how it works. However, I do a lot of research, and the research online has really dwindled into basically an empty box is what it feels like now when I go online. And so that's what I want to talk to you about. And I looked this research up last night simply by looking it up online. I didn't have a book on this. And so I want to share it with you guys because it's really interesting. And I know some of you guys had to kind of sense this as well when you are sifting through information and doing research as well. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Also, this is my first time showing my face on the channel in a very long time. I checked, and I think it's been close to 6 months. So that's a very long time. I usually show my face on my private community inside the School of Mysticism, but here I am today. All right, so screen share. First, we're going to kind of scope out broad, and then we're going to go in a bit more detailed and kind of sift through things and see how it's reflective in our reality outside of the black mirror device we're usually in front of when we're researching and getting our entertainment and sharing and working, really. So first thing that happened when I was like, no, I have to go on YouTube and make a video on this, was when I actually looked up the definition. I just simply put in the Brave search engine, the dead internet theory, or TOT as I spelled it here. And I'm not going to read this one because I found a better description on Wikipedia, but I want you to notice something. It was powered by Brave AI. Okay, so the first thing they give you is a summary of the conspiracy handed to you by an AI bot. And I didn't see this bottom part here, okay, that says Brave AI. I didn't see it initially. But when I read this last sentence here, which says, while some call it a conspiracy theory, there is something compelling about the theory. I knew right away that's a bot had written that, okay? And so I have experience speaking with bots, not a ton, but I've done some research on it. And I have a video on that. It's called oh my goodness, what was it? Is AI becoming sentient? It's a video I made on the app Replica, which is a chat bot last year. And so you want to check that out. It's pretty interesting as well. I have my whole theory on that. But since then, since I made that video a year ago, I could only imagine how much more information humans have given the program. So let's go ahead and look up the meaning on Wikipedia. This is just one source that came up. Okay, the dead internet theory is an online conspiracy theory that asserts the internet now consists almost entirely of bot activity and automatically generated content that is manipulated by algorithmic curation, marginalizing organic human activity. These intelligent bots are assumed to have been made in part to help manipulate algorithms and boost search results in order to ultimately manipulate consumers. Well, we already knew that. Further proponents of the theory accuse government agencies of using bots to manipulate the public perception. The date given for this, quote, death, is generally around 2016 or 2017, which makes complete sense because this is when I think a lot of us started noticing it. and when a lot of people started getting their information from social media platforms. This is when people started, more than ever, started going to Twitter and to all these other platforms to get their information from content, quote, content creators and short video clips that summarizes 30-minute, 60-minute news shows. So that makes complete sense to me. Also, this is a time when information was being highly manipulated in order to desensitize humans for their pandemic that followed. So everything pre-pandemic is its own timeline. Everything post-pandemic is another timeline. So this is what helped to kind of meld things in so that when they launched this attack, people were already knowing how to handle it. And they were already primed for it. So I want to come down here because this is where it gets really interesting. And this is where you're going to be like, oh, I get it. Like this has been happening the entire time, actually. So in 2016, the security firm Imperva released a report on bot traffic and found that bots were responsible for 52% of web traffic. The first time it surpassed human traffic. And I guarantee you it's not the last time either. So let's continue at this. At one point, fake views were so prevalent that some engineers were concerned for YouTube's algorithm for detecting them would begin to treat the fake views as default and start misclassifying real ones, which also happens a lot in the YouTube community. YouTube engineers coined the term the inversion to describe this phenomenon. Okay, come on. The inversion of having bots pass as humans in the digital realms and nobody knows it's happening. Like 99% of people don't know it's happening. That is an inversion. YouTube bots and the fear of the inversion were cited as support for the dead internet theory in the Agora Rhodes Macintosh Cafe thread. Oh, then there's this one, which I thought this one was really telling as well. Twitter. I hate texting tweets. Several accounts on Twitter started posting tweets starting with the phrase, I hate texting, followed by an alternative activity, such as, I hate texting, I just want to hold your hand, or I hate texting, just come live with me. So some sort of meme going around. These posts received tens of thousands of likes, and many suspected them to be bot accounts. These accounts have been used as an example to proponents of the dead internet theory. We see this all the time. This is why people call other people bots, because they're following these trends that have been implanted there by actual bots. And this whole thing that YouTube's trying to call it the inversion, and they're so scared and afraid because it's going to mess up their algorithm. They're getting paid high dollar amounts to go ahead and launch these campaigns out. So just as someone's trying to launch their course online and they have a campaign they put out, or myself, I have a lot of experience in this with like helping people do this as well. I know what it takes to launch accounts. These guys are coming in with hundreds of thousands of dollars, launching these campaigns, launching these bots and fake comments that it's so obvious when you read them, once you start seeing what's actually happening here, once you start seeing that it is an inversion. But for YouTube to call it inversion is like the greatest inversion of all. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys that. And then there are a couple more articles I want to show you guys. Oh, this was really funny. So this one says, the good news is we're getting lots of engagement on our AI generated content. Amazing. What's the bad news? It looks like most of the engagement is coming from AI generated traffic. Exactly. And also, you know, a phenomenon that's happening, that's the real inversion. And I've seen this happen to clients of mine, is that they will get suspicious emails and suspicious comments that we can tell it's a bot talking. We can tell it's a bot. It's a technology talking. It's a software talking, trying to sound like a human, trying to sound similar to the person they're writing. And so it's like threading itself and weaving itself, trying to consume the real people, trying to consume their reality, and they don't even know what's happening. And so another thing I want to talk to you guys about real quick, let me see how long this is, 13 minutes, okay, is how the different types of genres, the number one most hacked and infiltrated is in the spiritual community. And I mean, there are so many examples of this, and everyone's starting to show their true colors. So you don't have to do anything. It slowly unravels upon itself. But I'm not going to talk about individuals. I'm going to talk about the technology still. Really? Okay. So basically, my internet's very slow right now, you guys. I'm going to stop the screen share for a minute. Okay. So I'll show you examples, but I'll talk to you about it right now. So when I'm searching for images related to spirituality, to mysticism, to magic, especially with magic, there is such a crazy infiltration in there with the artwork that they're presenting to me, with the graphics, that I can just tell it's weaved its tentacles in every facet. And then you get people like, oh, looking up like magic, and they're putting like inverted pentacles, not knowing that that's satanic, and they think it looks really cool. And I'm, when I'm searching through this stuff, I would say I have to be very careful with what I'm selecting, because there's so many different symbols and like red flags everywhere that it's trying to pass off as spiritual, it's trying to pass off as benevolent, but it's not. And so this has been really, really a big obstacle with the work that I do, and trying to actually find content that isn't infiltrated with this archontic energy is what it is. It's the actual inversion. And so that has been a big thing that I've noticed. Different searches that I look up, and instead of finding something that's supposed to be, like I said, benevolent, I'm finding all this evil, satanic, nasty gunk everywhere. Even if you go to Netflix, look up Netflix, and you start searching through different genres, it's nasty, satanic stuff everywhere. It's really taken over that reality. As you saw that report from 2016, 52% of the traffic on the internet are bots. And these bots are being sent out by them. You are expecting to see one type of energy, and then you get the exact opposite. And so it really leaves you nowhere else but to turn within. But don't be expecting to find any true answers or your ultimate truth going online, because it's been taken over. And so you have to be very careful where you're spending your time. And it doesn't mean you give up on it. It just means you create what you want on it instead. And so, yeah, that was just a little short recap on what I just found out about it. And my perception on it is basically it makes complete sense, because it feels like a hollow place, and they're not giving you the meat of anything. You're just like in the marrow of it. And it's all facade, just like it is out there. It's all a facade. So, just keep that in mind. The one thing I can recommend is to read books instead, because the one place where I'm always able to fit the pieces together are in books. So, and it also inspires you to write and to be more creative. And that's what it's actually all about. It's not any of this. It's just a show business up on this digital realm most of the time. It's all show. It's all facade. The stadium is empty. There aren't those people in there that you think are there. And everyone that's liking everyone else's picture is a bot anyways. It doesn't truly matter. So I hope you found this video interesting. Let me know if you've been feeling this as well, how long you've been feeling this for. And that's about it. Go ahead and check out the links in my description as well. And here are some of the services I offer. Join us inside the School of Mysticism, where we are constantly putting out new content, and our community is so amazing there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.